Oh my fucking god. A dramatic reading from Our Dark Souls. Our Dark Souls, user Nudwubbles, 10 years ago. The most awful experience I've ever had while playing Dark Souls. Need to share. Let's bring the mic in. First of all, this short tale is not meant to offend or gross out anyone. It is simply something that I must share with a community that may understand the unfortunate occurrence, and I encourage you to take the time to read it thoroughly. Here we go. Having played Demon Souls and invaded hundreds and hundreds of players, I understand perfectly the bloodlust that Black Phantoms are stricken with. Most players that choose to build their characters with the sole purpose of invading hapless adventurers do so determinedly. And if you're simply playing on a first run-through character, you'll understand that defeating an unbalanced invader is tough work. Your character is simply not built to fight off the damage engine. That being said, I just finished killing Smaug and Ornstein for the first time. Annoys me that you said Smaug and Ornstein and not Ornstein and Smaug, but that's a whole different thing. Probably the toughest damn boss battle I've ever had in a game so far. And it left me thinking, shit, I freaking love this game. It's beautiful in so many ways. Now, Anor Londo is a big area. There's a lot of work required to get to those bosses. It's worth mentioning that through my escapades in Anor Londo, I had been drinking a large amount of Diet Crush orange soda. You've worked out where this is going. And my controller was low on battery, so it was currently plugged into my PS3 with its cord. I'd travelled back to the big parish place in order to pick up some items I'd missed without the annoyance of the enemies, and I still do not know my way around this level at all. I was completely lost, and all I wanted to do now was to get back to the Firekeeper lady and rest at the nice little bonfire. All this time the pressure in my bladder was building. My usual level of intelligence was reduced quite a bit because of the holy shit, I really have to pee feeling. I did not think to simply exit the game. Why not just go to the bathroom? Because I was worried about invaders. I wasn't sure if I could be invaded or not after defeating the boss, but after travelling around a bit, I was back in a castle somewhere. Now I really had to go. I thought, I'll be quick. But before jumping up from my bed, which I play my PS3 from, I saw it. He had come for me. The red text on the screen almost scared the piss out of me right there and then. What scared me even more was the name of the invader was obviously in Japanese. I've lost my place. And I know from experience that these motherfuckers mean business when it comes to invading. I've never had to pee more in my entire life. What makes this more interesting that I was carrying a plethora of souls, the largest amount of souls I'd ever carried at one time in the game. Not knowing where the hell to run to, I ran sporadically through the castle until I got back to the big bridge. With the invader nowhere to be seen, I realised what I had to do. My options were slim. If I was to visit the bathroom at the other end of the hallway, too much time would be required. I came up with a solution. A solution that would allow me to remain next to my controller and TV. I grabbed a large empty cup that I had been drinking my orange crush soda from. Standing up and unzipping my fly, I let loose into the cup. Sweet relief. Sweet, soul-sucking relief. I peed for what felt like hours, all the while keeping my eyes locked on the screen. Once finished, I placed the cup back on the shelf where the PS3 was. The shelf is positioned above the headboard of my bed, and I often use it to store drinks and keys and electronics. When I was done, I zipped back up just in time to take a Zweihander in the spine. What the fuck? Who invades with a Zweihander? No offense to anyone who plays Dark Souls with a Zweihander, it's a fun weapon. I was lucky to have survived the hit, I snatched up my controller and rolled the hell out of there, then sprinted further down the bridge to the big stone revolving thingy. I recovered my head and turned to see this heavily armoured tankish guy walking towards me. The nerve. He must be confident. What ensued was actually a rather balanced battle. Both of us took hits, both recovered, took more hits, recovered again. There were split-second blocks, outrageous dodges into lower levels of the bridge thing. Come to think of it, this was probably the most engrossing battle I've ever been in. Being the only one present in my house at the time, I got rather involved in this fight. Come on, you fuck! Come at me, bro! I found myself shouting at the TV. I wish there had been music. This was fucking Smaug and Ornstein. It still annoys me that they've written it that way around. Round 2. But that was where the fun ended. The Japanese tank took an unexpected roll swing at me and I jerked my controller in an attempt to avoid it. I know that does nothing, but I was so into this fight that I felt I was fighting for my actual life. But I forgot something. It had been a full 10 minutes since I'd emptied my torrent of liquid waste. The cord of my charging controller. The shelf. I realised too late, in that quarter of a second before it fell. I looked up and saw the quarter-gallon pea cup tilt over and fall. My life was in slow motion. My head, my face, my arms and my back. The controller in my hands. My pillows, my sheets, my bedspread and my mattress. It was all covered. I let out a long sigh of disgust. It felt like an insane episode of Man vs. Wild in which Bear Grylls decides he needs to bathe in his own piss in order to stay alive. Dripping with urine, I realised that someone else's life was at stake. Bubbles. My character. The Zweihander fucker had not given up. What else was there to lose? I was covered in piss, and all that remained now was the mountain of souls I had. There were at least 6 or 7 levels to be gained, summoning every last ounce of skill I had learned. From Software's diabolical, beautiful masterpiece, I disregarded most aspects of defense and unleashed a torrent of dodges and quick strikes on my Japanese foe. In an attempt to shorten this, I won. Maybe he did not expect me to go offensive, but I won. Satisfied with the hard-fought victory, I retreated across the bridge until I found the bonfire again. I rested at it. Then I rested myself. I flopped backwards onto my pillow. I was soaked. I did not care. I had beaten Dark Souls' reincarnation of Kratos himself. Turning off my PlayStation and standing up on the floor, I smiled to myself. At that moment I heard the familiar call. "We're home, Daddy!" Needless to say, my wife was upset that I'd covered our bed in urine, and my son wanted an explanation as to why I was dripping with pee. All in all, I learned a lesson. It's not about how bad you need to pee. You can always change the sheets and steam clean the mattress. But what really matters is believing in yourself. Perseverance, dedication. We must never forget what we're fighting for and never give up. And lastly, have priorities. For me, apparently, this means killing another person in the video game at the expense of bathing in my own pee. Your move, Bear. Your move. Too long didn't read. A cup of my own pee fell on me, drenching me in my bed while I killed an invader. Top comment. The fuck did I just read? And that was a dramatic reading of what I found while Googling Dark Souls. You should check the Pix It Happen channel. Oh god.